Greetings everyone. Welcome to lesson 5 part 3 of advanced Parasara Nadi astrology class. In the previous video, we have learned about the planet lordship. In this lesson, we will discuss about the benefic and malefic planets. In the previous video, we have seen how to use the additional significators of the Bhava with the planets, how to link them to the planets and the lordships. In that video, we clearly saw which works for a planet that has a two lordships. Then only after seeing that, we can go into the perspective of what the planets will do for the 12 bhavas, whether it's good or bad. You might think how to keep everything in mind and predict the results. It will be best if we cast a prasanna and answer the question and go on. Why should we take so much risk in predicting the horoscope completely? This may arise in your mind. This is the common thought that arises in some of you. This is not a tough thing at all. Once the combinations and the calculations are ready in front of you, then you will be able to answer all the questions within minutes. So, when we use the software while predicting, it will give all the details you want for the prediction in the screen and makes your work very simple. Now, you must apply the logics we teach and do the predictions. Don't be afraid, just understand the logics. Always understand about how these principles work and how these philosophies are used. If you understand it, it will give you opportunities to apply it beautifully. That is very important. So, what you need to understand at this point is how do you take all this? Everything is taken from a formula. It is taken according to a rule. You can apply this to every horoscope you predict. If you go into such perspective, it will be so beautiful. So, there is no need to be afraid of anything. We will ease you while doing the prediction. At this point, where we see the prediction, we take some things differently than the others. That is because based on our experience, some things are not working for all the horoscopes practically. So we broke the ancient rules. When we look at the natural benefics and malefics, the Lagna benefic and benefic, if we have seen all this, it is easy for you to understand the concept. Now, we will look at the natural benefic and natural malefic. Before looking at that, what are natural benefic? So, here, generally, even if those planets comes in a certain place at the time of your birth, generally the planet that can give an auspicious nature because of their natural characteristics are called the natural benefics. If you see Jupiter, it is called the primary benefic planet. The second benefic planet next to Jupiter is Venus. The Mercury is less than Venus, and the Moon is less than Mercury, and the Sun is less than Moon. These are the natural benefic planets. So, Jupiter, Venus, Mercury, Sun, and the Moon are the benefic planets. Now, if you ask what are their works, what is their work? No matter in which ascendant you are born, they will definitely make their auspicious nature suitable for that place. No matter what the ascendant is, there is no alternative option on this. If you look at this natural benefit in our horoscope, it benefits both in terms of economy and physical characteristics. And these four people will give good benefits. There is a difference in this. There is a difference in this. Jupiter and Venus will give full auspicious results from their position. Only if Mercury is alone or has a lot of auspiciousness, or will their Jupiter and Venus work together, it will be benefic. That is, either Mercury is alone, or it is either in a good position, that is auspicious position, or whether it is in the combination with the Jupiter or Venus, then it is more benefic. In the same way, if the moon is close to the full moon, or if it is the waxing moon, then that is close to the full moon. If the moon that is in a complete waxing phase, or if it is a moon that is not in conjunction with Saturn or Ketu, then it will also work as a full auspicious. Similarly, no matter which planet the sun comes with, it will definitely improve their status and give them the economic prestige, give them a position in politics, make them get recognition and get social status. The only minus of the sun is that he cannot come under someone and work because of ego. The ego is the only minus of the sun. Other than that, all the characteristics are positive for the sun. So, because of the ego, he will say, I will not do that work because I have power. That is the only thing that sun will have. That is the only character where sun becomes a malefic one. When you predict for those characteristics alone, you should use it as a malefic. You can use the sun as an auspicious planet for all other predictions like the auspiciousness of the life, character, etc. That is what we follow in our Gemini School of Astrology system. We are giving you some principles that have been used in our system by us so far and have come true for us in all the horoscopes that we have predicted. Next is the natural malefic. The Mars, Saturn, Rahu, Ketu are the malefic planets, meaning that they naturally have the potential to do evil things or harmful things. No matter what the ascendant you are born in, that evil will not leave you without giving that evil to some extent, or without giving the qualities of that planet to you. You should never forget that while predicting. No matter what ascendant it is, no matter how big a Lord Saturn becomes, that is, it might be in a exalted position, it might be in any position, but it will not leave you without giving its natural qualities. You should first understand that. Then the Saturn is eviler than Mars. So Rahu is eviler than Saturn and Ketu is eviler than Rahu. So the least evil planet is Mars, the next to it is Saturn, and the next to it is Rahu, and the most evilest planet is Ketu. So all the natural malefic will affect the physical health and life related matters. When it comes to the economy, the Rahu will become the natural benefic. When the land comes, Mars will become the natural benefic. When hard work comes, the Saturn will become the natural benefic. If Ketu comes, it means spirituality and philosophy, then he will become natural benefic for that lagna or for that concept. Now, what is the understanding in this place? The natural benefic and malefic are divided based on the characteristics of the planet. The Mars will give accidents, lawsuits, getting into fight. The Saturn will give delay, keeping a low profile, not able to enjoy things. Rahu will give disease, danger to life, death, indiscipline. Ketu will give us an unenjoyable financial status and the physical situation and an unenjoyable disease. So, we cannot get along with our relationships also because of Ketu. Hence, they are concluded as the natural malefic. This is how the structure of natural benefic and malefic exist. When this comes, the general nature of the characteristics always works regardless of which ascendant we are born in. What we need to see here is the how it differs when it comes to Lagna benefic and malefic. Now, here the Lagna benefic and Lagna malefic. The Lord of the 8th, 6th, and the 12th are the Lagna malefic. All planets other than the Lagna malefic will be considered as the Lagna benefic. Now, for example, it will be now, for example, we can see a chart. It will be very helpful for you to understand the concept. Now, let us consider the Aries Lagna. Now, there is Jupiter in the fifth house. Now, Jupiter, which is already a natural benefic, also comes as the benefic for the ascendant. Since there is no planet in the Sagittarius sign and the work of the ninth bhava is done by the Jupiter from the fifth house. So, the natural characteristics of the Jupiter is already auspicious here. So, this ascendant is going to enjoy the great benefits through children's intellect, futures, offsprings. That is major. That is the major thing here. That is which are the fifth bhava characteristics. So he will enjoy the positive and auspicious things because of Jupiter here. We can tell the strength of the Jupiter more while predicting the horoscope. That is the concept here. We should uh, increase the intensity of the Jupiter here. Now, similarly, we can consider the Taurus ascendant and Jupiter is in the fifth house. Now, it is the eighth lord and it is in the fifth house. We can consider that there are other planets in the 11th house. For example, let us say Venus is in the 11th house. So we assume that there is a Jupiter in the eighth house, here in the fifth house, so that the Jupiter will own the lordship of the eighth house while it is in the fifth house. So we, will the Jupiter in the fifth house is the lord of the eighth house for the Taurus ascendant lose its goodness, or will it work as a bad deed? When Jupiter is in the fifth house of the Taurus ascendant, then this child will have some disadvantages in terms of the characters, his body, his habits, and all these things. There is no way that it will not have some of the disadvantage. In this place, we will see the health of the child is not good. Health is not supported by the eighth house. You will see the forgetfulness, lack of attention, lack of speed. That is, if you see that in those characteristics, you can't implement the complete perfection of the Jupiter. You will be able to see less benefits of the Jupiter. We cannot say this child will die. This child will not be alive. So these such words cannot be implemented in this place because the auspiciousness of the Jupiter is there. So in that place, the child may have medical expenses, child may get bad names, cases may come, but if it comes, it will be hidden and will not be focused or known to the outer world because of the natural auspiciousness of the Jupiter will provide the opportunity to balance at this place. So, for example, we can see the Saturn. Now, we can consider the same Aries Lagna. If the Saturn is in the fifth house instead of Jupiter for the Aries ascendant, then the same Taurus, then same for the Taurus ascendant also. Saturn is the now, if you understand this, the natural benefic and what is the natural malefic will make these things easy. Now, the Saturn, the Padagadipati of the Aries sign, is in the fifth house. There is no one in the two houses, so he will do the work of the 11th house for the Aries sign. So, when he is in the fifth house, then if the person has the child, there are definitely chances of death. The child may die at birth or in the womb. It may die before reaching a certain age, or the child may be born as a disabled, or the child may not have a great perfection. You must definitely say these words for the Aries sign. Why? Because when the Saturn comes naturally and becomes lame, incomplete, and complaining, it will be able to completely harm the life related things. So, the nature of this Saturn for this Aries Lagna is definitely that already natural malefic planet, when it acts as the malefic in terms of the sign too, it will give opportunities to take that result till death. Now, if you come to the Taurus Lagna and see that the Saturn is there in the fifth house of the Taurus sign, then it is the owner of the ninth and the 10th house. The influence of the 10th house works in this place as it is the Mulatirigona. Suppose the Mars is in the 10th house. Now it is doing the work of the ninth house. So, if there is a Mars in the 10th house, it will do the work of the ninth house. The Mars will take over the 10th house. Now, it is doing the work of ninth house. Now, let me give an example. So, at this place, Saturn will do no harm to this Taurus Lagna. So, let's tell you the truth here. Since the Saturn, which has the ninth lordship for the Taurus Lagna and is in the fifth house, it cannot be said that this person will have a child immediately. So, there will be a delay in the child birth. It will cause the delay in the time. In this place, instead of death, there will be delay, minor defects in the body, slowness in the function, lack of responsibility, inattention, slowness in functioning. Then the qualities of the Saturn will work here and balance that without giving the death. Then what will this Aries Lagna say? The boy is dead. He is not there anymore. This will be heard from the words of the Aries Lagna. What will the Taurus Lagna person say? I have a son. There is no big support from him. He is not very active. He is not very useful to me. He is doing his job to his requirements. It will be good if he were a little more active and helpful to me. These words will be said by the person of Taurus Lagna. So if you understand this difference in this place, it will be very easy. I will say this in another way. This Saturn has the connection of the Jupiter. This Saturn has a connection with the Ketu. So that for the the Aries Lagna, the Saturn has the connection with Jupiter, and for the Taurus Lagna, the Saturn has a connection with Ketu in the fifth house. So understand the logic here. I did not bring this step here. I am giving you this now. Where you see the lordship, you are going to come to the point where you must see the planetary conjunctions also. So even though Saturn is in the fifth house for the Aries ascendant, it is a malefic Saturn. But he is in contact with the Jupiter in the fifth house. So whatever we said for the Saturn in this place, say in the fifth house for the Taurus ascendant, Aries ascendant, it will be seemed to be implemented. What we have seen for the fifth house in the Taurus ascendant will be implemented in this place for the Aries ascendant. So, what we said for the Taurus ascendant is the person will be lazy, he will be forgetful, he will be lacking responsibility, slowness in function. So these kind of things we have said. Now that will work for the Aries Lagna when Saturn has a combination of Jupiter. Since the Saturn, which is the lord of the ninth house for the Taurus Lagna and the Yogadipati for the ascendant. So for the Taurus Lagna, Saturn is in the fifth house and it is the ninth lord, and it will be the Yogadipati for that ascendant. So, since it is associated with the Ketu in this place, without giving the Yoga by the Saturn, the son of the native will be definitely become very hateful person, a completely ignorant person, and within the characteristics of the Ketu. So, this person, this Saturn should do benefic things to the ascendant. That is because it is the Yogadipati of that Lagna. For the Taurus Lagna, it is the ninth lord. But what happens is Saturn has the connection with the Ketu, and it will not let the Saturn do a positive yoga for that. So this will affect the Ketu will affect the Saturn's characteristics. So if you ask whether in this place will it give death to the native sun, then if the Ketu Dasa or Bhukti or Saturn Dasa Ketu Bhukti and the transit changes in this way during the such period, then even if it is the Lord of the ninth house of Taurus and the Yogadipati, definitely the situation of losing his child will happen. So, what are all the additional things we should look at this place? If there is a planet in the Bhava, we should not see only the from that perspective. We should also see the planet in conjunction with that planet. And whether if it is auspicious, then it means that he is definitely protected temporarily. It means that he will be protected in the dasa and bhukti of that auspicious planet. Even if the natural malefic planet Saturn is in an auspicious position for that lagna, or it is the Yohadipati, or that is the ninth lord, and it is in the fifth house, it will give the results like slow, delay, forgetfulness. If Ketu is in that combination of the Saturn, then the person will get all the things but will be delayed. The Saturn significator will work here. So, here we should also consider the combination of the Saturn as well. If it is with the Ketu, then the benefits of being in an auspicious place and being the Yogadipati doesn't matter. The things that we said for the Aries ascendant will work here. Since it is the ninth lord, it will not lead to the quick death, but there will be delay in the marriage, childbirth, being a saint because of Ketu. The Saturn will get the characteristics and will give it to the fifth bhava. The person will have a life, but everything else will be changed. The Saturn is alone in the fifth bhava of the Aries Lagna and the Ketu is not involved, it will bring death soon. If Guru is Jupiter is involved, then Jupiter will support the physical weakness and sluggishness at this point where it can be corrected. So, taking all this into consideration, you should definitely go for a result. Now, what we have understood from this lesson, in a simple words, we can say if a natural benefit is will it also becomes the lagna benefic, then it will give more auspiciousness and auspicious benefits. If natural malefic becomes the lagna benefic, that is natural malefic becomes lagna benefic, then it will give its negative characteristics in a less amount only. That is slightly it will give negative characters. If a natural benefic becomes the lagna malefic, it will not give its positive things to the fullest. Or in other words, it will be less benefic. If the natural malefic also becomes the lagna malefic, then it will become more malefic thing to that lagna. This is the logic of natural benefic, malefic, and the lagna benefic and malefic. Listen to this video again and again. You will understand this concept. concept. This will be very useful while predicting a horoscope. Next, we should decide the results based on the planet in the conjunction with the malefic or the benefic planet. Then only we will be able to give the predictions completely. Now, le- we will learn more about the who are all the Lagna benefic and malefic. If you are able to decide this, then we can find out who will give more benefit and who will not give much benefit. For the particular bhava, we can say the 1, 5, 9 and the 10th will be the benefic of the particular bhava. For example, we can consider a Libra ascendant. Now, the Venus will be the lord of the first house and the 8th house. If there is no planet in both the bhavas, it will work for the Lagna because it is the Mula Trigona. So, it will work for the Lagna because the malefic Lagna benefic. So, it will work for the Lagna and become the Lagna benefic. Similarly, for the Aries Lagna, if there is no planet in the first and the 8th house, then the Lagna is the Mula Trigona of the Mars and it will become the Lagna benefic. Now, for example, we can consider the Leo Lagna. Jupiter is the lord of the 5th and the 8th house. If any planet is in the 8th house, say Mercury, then the Jupiter will do the work of the 5th house only. Hence, it becomes the Lagna benefic of that Lagna. We have already learned that how to consider lordship of the planet if it comes as the lord of two houses. Now, if we see it becomes the malefic and benefic, then it will be easy for you to understand. So, first we should understand how it becomes the benefic or malefic. The first, fifth, and the ninth house are called the Lagna benefic. So, the lord of that houses are called the Lagna benefic. These are the bhavas that will give benefits to the physical body and life related matters. Whenever we do predictions, we need to consider the two aspects of the economic aspects. One is the economical aspect and other is the matter that are related to life and health. So, each planet and bhava will work definitely for both of this. We will learn it when we get into the individual topics. Here, we will understand the Lagna benefic and malefic clearly. We can consider the 10th house also as the Lagna benefic because it will give economical growth and it will not affect the physical health also. Now, we can see which are all the bhavas that will be more malefic. So, the first only will be, the first one will be the 8th house because it will not allow us to enjoy the economical things and also will lead to the lose your money to someone else. Whichever planet comes as the lord of the 8th house is definitely going to do negative things for both economically and health related matters. When combined with the other planets, it may lead to death also. Next, if it is a movable lagna, then the 11th house will be the malefic. If it is a fixed lagna, the third house will be malefic. If it is the dual lagna, then the seventh house will be malefic. We should keep this in mind. We have four movable lagna. For all of this four lagnas, the 11th house will be Padagastana, that it will be harmful for the life related matters and will not do any harm in the economical matters. So we have four movable signs: Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. So all these movable signs will have its 11th lord as the Lagna Malefic, and similarly the third house will be the Padagastana for the fixed signs, and the seventh house will be the Padagastana for the movable signs. Similarly, for all the 12 lagnas, we should consider the 8th house as the Padagastana, and the next comes the 12th house. It will be the Lagna Malefic for the life related and health related matters, like a person getting into coma stage or being bedridden for a long time and the body parts not functioning properly, hospitalized for the long time, are all because of the 12th bhava. The 12th bhava will be malefic only to the above mentioned things and not for the economical matters. Next is the 6th bhava. It will be malefic for the disease and litigation related things. If any question is asked regarding the disease, it will be bad. If it is litigation, then it will go on for a long time and will not be solved. This will almost also not this will also not be the malefic to the economic related matters. When we should not confuse with the Lagna Benefic and Benefic with the sixth bhava. That is why we are explaining it separately. We should use the Lagna Benefic and Malefic for the life and health related things and should not be used for the economy related things, because even the eighth house had some benefits to the economy related things in some horoscopes. So we can just recap the subject. Jupiter, Venus, Mercury, Moon, and Sun are natural benefic. Mars, Saturn, Rahu, and Ketu are natural malefic. If the natural benefic comes as the Lagna benefic, then it will give more auspicious benefits. If the natural malefic comes as the Lagna benefic, then it will give its negative characters in less amount only. If the natural benefic comes as the Lagna malefic, it will not give its positive things to the fullest, or in other words, it will be less benefic. If malefic planets comes as the Lagna malefic also, then it will do more malefic things to that lagna. To decide this, we should know which are all the malefic and benefic for the lagna. The eighth house will be malefic for all the lagnas. We will decide how it will be malefic based on the natural malefic and benefic. The 12th and the 6th houses will be malefic to the life related things and should not be used for economy related things. For the movable sign, 2, 7, and 11 are malefic bhavas. For the fixed sign, 3rd and the 8th are the malefic bhavas. For the dual sign, the 7th and the 11th are the malefic bhavas. It will be clear if we see an example for all the 12 lagnas. Now, for the Aries lagna, Jupiter will be a benefic planet. If any planet is present in the ninth house, then the Jupiter will not be able to act as the benefic planet for the lagna because it will work for the 12th bhava alone. So, Venus is the second and the seventh lord here. So, the Venus will be malefic. So, the lord of the sixth house is Mercury. So, it will be also malefic. The lord of the fourth and the fifth house, moon and sun, will be benefic. If there is no planet in the first and the eighth house, then Mars will become the benefic. Similarly, the Saturn is the lord of the 10th and the 11th house. So, it will also be a malefic planet since it is the natural malefic. So, the Jupiter, Sun, Moon, and the Mars will be the malefic planets. If and the Venus, Mercury, and Saturn will be the Lagna malefic. In this, Saturn will be more malefic, and next to it, the Mercury, and then the Venus. The Jupiter will be the most benefic, and Sun comes the next, and Mars, and then the Moon comes after that. These planets may change from benefic to malefic and vice versa. If any planet is in the Taurus or Libra, then the Venus will become Lagna benefic. That is, if there is a planet Mars and Jupiter in the Taurus and the Libra sign, then the lordship of the second and the seventh house will be taken over by the planets. So the Venus will become the Lagna benefic. Then we should not see those bhavas for Venus if the planet is present in it. So here we have the 7 planets other than Rahu and Ketu. We will see how to decide for Rahu and Ketu whether they are benefic or malefic. If Rahu is in the houses of benefic planets. That is the ninth house, the fourth house, and the fifth house, and also the Lagna. So these are the benefic houses of Jupiter, Sun, Moon, and Mars. If the Rahu and Ketu, for example, it should not be in the 8th house of Mars and the 12th house of Jupiter. If Rahu and Ketu is in the Lagna, 4th, 5th, and the ninth house, then it will become benefic. It will give the benefits to the native during the Dasha Bhukti period as it becomes the Lagna benefic. But it will give its significance to the bhava in which it is present. Hence, the Rahu and the Ketu will act as the benefic only if it is present in the signs of the Lagna benefic planets. Else, it will remain as a malefic. Now, let us see for the Taurus Lagna. Here, what we have to see is which planet has the lordship of the 8th house, 12th house, and the 6th house. These planets will be considered as the Lagna malefic. Since the Lagna is in the fixed sign, the lord of the 3rd and the 8th house should be considered as the Lagna malefic. Now let us see the Lagna malefic for this Lagna. Here, the Venus is the lord of the 1st and the 6th house. For example, if there is any planet in the 6th house, say Jupiter, then the Venus will become the Lagna benefic of this horoscope. Since the Mercury has the lordship of the 5th, it will be also the called as the Lagna benefic. And here the 4th lordship is owned by the Sun. Hence, it will also be the benefic for the Lagna. The lord of the 9th and the 10th house, Saturn, will also be the Lagna benefic. So, let us see the malefic planets of this Lagna. Here, the Jupiter comes as the 8th lord. So, it is considered as the primary Lagna malefic. Next is the lord of the 3rd and the 8th house is also the Lagna malefic. Here, it is the moon and Jupiter that are the 3rd and the 8th house. Next is the 12th lord, that is the Mars. It is also considered as the Lagna malefic. If there is any planet in the 12th house, say Venus, then the Mars will have the lordship of the 7th house only. So it may become benefic from malefic. Even though if looks common for all the person, but you will be able to witness the changes of the Lagna benefic and malefic based on the Lagna of individual persons. Now, let us see the Sagittarius Lagna. It will be easy to get the benefic planets if we list out the malefic planet first. So, for the Sagittarius Lagna, the 8th lord is the moon. So, it will be the primary malefic. So the Lord of the 7th house Mercury and the Lord of the 11th house Venus will also be the malefic planet. So the Lord of the 12th house is Mars, and if there is a planet in the Aries, then the Mars will also become the malefic. So the 12th Lord Mars, if there is a planet in Aries, then the Mars will also become malefic, else it will become benefic. Let us list out the benefics. Lord of the first house, Jupiter, the Lord of the fifth house, Mars, and Lord of the ninth house, Sun will be benefic. So here, the Saturn is the only missing planet. Since it is the Lord of the second and the third house for a dual sign Lagna, it will be considered as the neutral planet. Then we have considered the fifth house for the Mars. If any planet is in the fifth house, then the planet will own the lordship of the fifth house. So the Mars will do the work of the 12th house and become malefic. This is the reason we should consider the planets in the Bhava also. This lesson is very important to decide the malefic and benefic, and also the Lagna based malefic and benefic. I request you to watch this video till you understand the concept. If you have any doubts or any confusions, kindly send it in the WhatsApp group. We will discuss in the Zoom meeting, or we will clear the doubts in the WhatsApp group. Thank you. See you in the next video.